So, I don't think I'm gonna have enough time to cover every single servant on here. Probably not. I value my sanity. I said I'm gonna do double uploads for this last week of my vacation. I'm gonna do that, but I'm also gonna value my sanity and not compromise streams because I need to review like 20 servants in a week. I'm not doing triple uploads. So, this is gonna be a real short run through of the units on here. The only servant I can say with 100% certainty that is going to get their own video is Squirtoria, because she just got buffed. Everyone else, it's kind of a short run through. So, first banner, Musashi, Osaka Bihime, and Carmilla. Straight up, these two are nowhere near where they need to be. Osaka Bihime needs... Man, what did I say she needed? I'm just running through it real quick. This is her weakest skill by a landslide. I don't know why it's 3 turns at 50% with a 1 attack, 1 turn. This isn't that bad of a... Like, I actually see a reason for this. And it has to do with, like... if you are... Like, if you're using a single target, like, there's actually a point to doing this, because it makes it so... if you don't kill... Like, say you use an AoE, you don't kill more than 1 enemy, like, you leave 2 alive. You can taunt the one that has more or less health if they're out of order. Say, like, you kill the first one with an AoE, kill the first enemy. The one in the back has the higher health. Like, okay, sorry, like, this is a little hard to explain, but say you're fighting enemy 1, enemy 2, enemy 3. AoE MP. You kill enemy 1, enemy 3 is about to get hit by a single target, or enemy 2 would get hit by a single target next. But because you taunt, 3 is getting hit, and then you clean up with your refund card. This is too convoluted. This is 100% too convoluted and would not come up in normal farming at all, because you'd have to use a weak AoE to clear it anyway. So this cool concept is just never going to be practical. Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Baddie needs like an MP buff. If I'm not mistaken, that's what she needs. But she does have attack. Yeah, no, you need an MP buff very badly. Holy shit. It's like they actually took... She actually has like what, like low star or like no boost scaling. That welfare scaling. At least this is Nobu after her buff. Imagine if it was Nobu pre-buff, then her damage would have been like 10,000. Yeah, Osaka Bihime needs a lot of help. She needs a lot of help. But it's most a good MP buff is gonna help her a lot. Carmilla has serious refund issues and battery concerns because it's delayed. She has a very cool kit though, that she reduces defense against crit attacks. I think it's still counted as defense down. So it, like, when you crit, you get the defense down. That's probably how it's coded. It's 50%. That is good value. And she has actual defense down. She cripples people. She is crippling. The problem is she can't get to her MP. Her refund is just not good enough. 4-hit MP, not good enough for a refund. Like, she kind of actually needs like a thick battery if you want to use her like to her best capacity. Like, it kind of doesn't make sense. Like, her weakness is that she has no offensive, like, stuff in her kit. So even, like, unless they give her an MP buff that gives her quick up before damage or something of that nature, it's not going to fix anything. Like, very much in the same reasoning, Ryder. She's at least not Morgan's level, but she's not that much better. Like, she is definitely out damaged by low stars. She's just carried by the fact that her base guard damage is actually going to be really good, and she sets up people very nicely if they're crit servants. And then we have Musashi. I love Musashi. Musashi, like, as a saber, is one of my favorite servants. Musashi as a berserker was the first unit that I actually, like, really got good at farming with. Like, Musashi is how I learned, like, arts farming and how, like, to actually do it. From, like, 50% CE, like, mostly 50% CEs over, like, K-scope stuff. Do I think she needs a buff now? Yes. And 2 ways they can go about it. A, make this 3 turns. It would help her out significantly, because if you pop this the turn that you don't have arts cards for, like, her refund is good, but it's nowhere near like this, where, like, you can't farm with her if you do not pop this skill. You can't. She just doesn't have enough looping stuff in her kit outside of this. This turns her refund like 0 to 100, but the fact that you only get it 1 time on the turn you pop this, when you might need to farm, like, not helpful. Make this 3 turns just like OG, or buff her MP, please. Also, get rid of this part if you buff the MP. Make it so it's like all enemies, not just sabers, or make it an increased chance for sabers. Like, it's annoying. It is annoying when, like, an AoE is, like, specifically geared to fighting a specific class, especially when it's, say, like, does not even have crit attack chance resistance against our sabers. That is such a miss. Please buffer MP. I am hoping with Samurai Remnant, because it is a good time, because the Musashi there is Berserker Musashi, or is a Berserker Musashi. I hope they actually do something to this. Please. And they might actually have it set up where, just like Dante's, his buff was tied to an outside source. It was not tied to FGO story. It was tied to Melty Blood. There is a chance that if they buff Musashi, both servers are gonna get that, like, soon. Not both. NA will get it a whole lot sooner than the meta would say they're supposed to. We would not be waiting 2 years for a Samurai Remnant buff. We would be waiting now. We would get it, like, probably a month, 2 months, depending on how broken the buff. If the buff is, like, super broken, we might not get it for a couple months. This is a similar situation to what is happening with the current campaign for Ilya and Miyu. They got their buff because of a movie collab, not because of the story. So technically, they could have pushed these buffs up 2 years, like a year ago. They technically could have, because Prisma Ilya movie isn't relevant right now. Musashi is, like, really good. She is a different type of servant than Ibuki, than other farming servants. She is mainly used for boss fighting. If you just look at her kit, you will see that she is meant for fighting bosses, not farming. Like, this does not scream farming skill. It's just really good. She's just really good at farming. Her numbers look really good at farming. But she herself definitely needs a buff. She's able to do it because of how good she is, not because of how broken she is. There's a difference. Summer Musashi is definitely not broken. Not by today's standards. So, in my opinion, despite having MP3 on one server, MP2 on another, and MP1 on my alt, do not summon for Musashi. She has been power crept. If you want a AoE berserker that can do all your farming for you, just wait for Ibuki. I know we're talking about NA and this isn't JP, but just wait for Ibuki. If you absolutely need an AoE Arts berserker. Otherwise, if you need an AoE farmer, just go Summer Kama. I don't have high value for her as a farmer over the others, but she's still good enough at it. Even by my standards, Summer Kama can far outperform Summer Musashi in terms of farming and ease of use, just because she has a battery. Yeah, I'm gonna try to keep each servant like under 4 minutes, but I might go over that. I might go over it. Bunny Toria, she is not getting a buff. I believe that I have an updated review on her. If I don't, sometime I'll get back to it. Her base attack sucks, but that's because of like what she's able to stack in her kit. She stacks 70% attack in her own kit that you can time, and a whole lot of crit damage. Wait, no, not as much crit damage as I thought. Did she ramp up crit damage? Why did I think she had more crit damage? I think it's because she's Buster. Probably because she's Buster. She has the potential for a whole lot of crit damage, along with Harding. She is probably the easiest crit servant in the game because she just... Not only does she have star weight, not only does she have crit damage, she can change the deck and pick someone not to have in the deck. Meaning you have a pretty much 50-50 shot of getting a mighty chain, or not a mighty chain, a brave chain. Even higher when you consider with her MP you just need 2 cards instead of 3. She is, I don't want to say she's hard to use, but if you want her to perform really, really well, you're going to have to think. You're going to have to do carding, which, spoiler alert, has tons of RNG with it. This mitigates the RNG, but you could still have it where you get none of her cards, and you get all the cards of the unit you don't want to pick. You're fighting a caster boss. You have double Vich. Up. Now you just have all Vich cards, even though you picked one Vich out. Now you have none for Bunny Toria. RNG sucks. It really does. At least this is better than what it used to be. Because what it used to be was just a shuffle. Now it's a whole lot more. Her base attack isn't as much of a concern as it is. Like, it's bad, but it's not that bad. If you grail her, it's less of an issue. But you shouldn't have to grail just to make someone even look weak in compared to other 5 stars. This is Churcher's base attack. And I say, if you want her to do good farming, you'd want to grail her so the attack buff scale better. Base just is weak. It's unfortunate. Melt. She's more applicable in 90 plus stuff than Percival, but in terms of farming, like, Percival is just like way more consistent and kind of outputs like better damage. Like, Melt has her spikes. She is definitely good on the tactical side, but like consistently across the board, he's hitting 20,000 more, and it's only on the turn 3 that Melt surpasses, and it's not even by that big of a gap. Like, she doesn't, it's not that she does so much damage in her turn 3 that she completely overtakes Percival. because like the gap between this and this is smaller than the gap between this and this. Like Percival's up 20,000 on turn 2. Melt is up 14,000 on turn 3. And like it gets even smaller on when you include Oberon, because Melt is only like bigger by 8,000. Like Oberon smashes that gap because Percival gets MP damage when he MPs. And again, if you pop Castoria, oh yeah, that's the other thing. In farming, you cannot pop Castoria MPs with Melt. It completely screws up her loop if she doesn't loop 100%. If you need to pop Castoria MPs, you have to pop them turn 1. So, but as long as you're looping 100% on turn 1, like, kind of doesn't matter. It's when like the Castoria is like pop turn 2 that you run into issues, because they shouldn't naturally have charge. Not unless you bring like support or something. Sorry for like little rant about Percival, but Melt needs consistent damage. He needs a consistency buff, because he spikes, but it's 1 turn because the attack buff. Where are you? Like, Percival has no 1-turn buffs, and he's almost matching Melt with her like 50% attack buff. That is where the inconsistency is lying. So I think Percival is a stronger unit to summon for, like a better AoE Lancer, but I know Melt has her uses, and Melt is a good character. So I don't blame people for a lot of Melt's hype. It's justified. It's just like, if you only have her like MP 1 or 2, like you're better off just investing in Percival at this point, because you're probably only gonna get her off these special rate ups that are inconsistent. And again, this only lasts a day. You only have a day with these, so it's really good. I honestly thought I missed Musashi already, so I am happy that when I'm talking about this, I'm not missing any of them. All right, next one, BB. She is so much better now. Like, as a DPS servant, she is so much better. She got this buff, which makes it so if you do a Brave Chain with her, you get 20 stars regardless. So even if you do Buster AA for a refund, or MPAA for refund, you're still getting 20 stars, as if you were like using Space Fish Star. She can lock it down. So if you actually need BB as a DPS against an Avenger, he can actually do it and do like good enough damage. Like really good crit damage. When they buffed BB's self mod, they actually made it so like her damage was comparable to other Moon Cancers. Because before, her MP damage was like 20,000. She was hitting like, it was bad. It was really bad. Like her MP hit like a wet noodle. MP2 like is in line with everyone else. BB's problem is she just can't Buster Farm, which is it's going to be a stretch because of this. It's going to be a stretch trying to get BB down to a 7-turn or something. She can at least double stack the attack, which is nice for her, but there is no conceivable way she's able to double stack this. They are not going to let BB have this kind of synergy with Oberon, because this plus Oberon skill is 80%. She has Black Rail when you mix her and Oberon by default. But now with Summer Chloe, you're not going to be able to double stack this, but you should be able to get off using Super Scope and use something that gives more power. Should. I need to double. Oh no, actually yes, that is exactly what happens. That is actually exactly what happens. Uh, it just depends on when you use Chloe. I'm trying to think of the setup right now. You're gonna have to probably pop Oberon's first skill on turn 2, right? Chloe would come in for wave 2, give a 30, then you plug Suitor out. Oberon pops his 20, then a Vitch battery. Another Vitch. Oh wait, no, because another Vitch wouldn't be out on the field. Oh shit. Yeah, I can't do the battery work with Chloe off the top of my head during this. This is not the right time. But yeah, BB is a whole lot better than she used to be. She does need an MP buff, because this is like non-existent. She basically doesn't have an overcharge. This is fine. This part of the MP is fine. It's her overcharge that doesn't do shit, or rarely ever will do shit. Summer Meb, Mabe. I don't. It's whatever. She has extremely low base attack, like extremely low. Like I think it's her and like Lily that have some of the. Yeah, Lily has like the lowest of 4 stars, and Mabe isn't much higher. Her hit counts are fine. It's literally her base attack that is so dog shit that like you have to grail to 100 just to get her normal for a 4-star. Her kit is pretty cool as a sub DPS, just like Prince of Lang Ling. It's not really selfish. It's not like this, but like this is still helping out the party. This is okay. Yeah, and you have to go for overcharge for a higher chance of all of these activating. She is decent as a sub DPS, just like you would or in a similar nature to how 90 plus and 90 plus plus work, that you will probably need a single target that kind of buffs up. Either is the one doing the farming or is buffing your AoE to like help them deal with it, and then they have to deal with what wave themselves. Mabe kind of sets up like another unit to like one shot. But she'd still want to go later because of this overcharge. So she 100% needs buffs. I think her MP is the heart, like the weakest point, but she does need other stuff too. Her skills aren't really that bad, like, oh, we need to buff this, but this doesn't function the way it should. Double X. Holy shit. There's a reason she's on the banner with BB. She is almost historically on the banner with BB. If you need someone to murderize Oberon, holy shit, does X do it. Because she has full class advantage. She has art, so she pairs with Castoria. And she has the power mod against threat to humanity, which Oberon has. As a pretender, he is fucked if you bring X to the fight. Like truly and utterly fucked. Unlike Jox, Double X does not have anti-curse that screws with your foreigner bullshit. She did not need this MP buff, but with it, she hits as hard, if not harder, than single target archers. She basically gets full class advantage, just like as if she was an archer, or like for the MP, not for anything else. But yeah. If you need a single target arts to deal with the hardest fights in the game, bring MH XX. Because threat to humanity is trees. What else? I think Karina knows, but I might be wrong about that. Yeah. Very, like, I didn't go too much in depth on her, but like she if she gets a buff, it's a skill buff, and it's probably gonna be her star weight thing. She can't really use this. Like if they were to buff something, I'd say this, but also it's on a 4-turn, so I don't see them doing too much with this if they decide to buff it. She has 1-turn stuff, and usually that's a problem for me, like a big problem. But she doesn't really do anything that Castoria couldn't give her. And it's weird thinking this, because like most of the time I'm like, get all different buffs. X literally doesn't have anything that Castoria can't give her. So you really can just use her as FGO originally intended, as like, these are steroids. These help her. They're not 3 turns, so you don't pop them immediately. You pop them when you need to. Obviously, if you run Tomomo, you get way more spammy. In fact, you probably should, because these are on stupidly low cooldowns. Like, holy shit, 5-turn cooldowns. Like, running her with Tomomo, and you're basically spamming everything every 3 turns. So yeah, like if you want to snipe BB for doing really cool stuff, because BB does let you like set up like really cool shit, like see what double Scotty actually fucking looks like when you can securely do like 3 turns of MP quick, MP quick, MP quick, and see how like quickly you delete a boss when like that servant is like fully roided out on like double Scotty quick buffs and like everything. I'm gonna call this part here, and we're gonna do another part, and we'll come out at a different time, just so this video doesn't go into an hour. All right, we'll get the next half later. Thank you for making it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed, drop a like or sub. Hope to see you in the next one. Peace.